everything. Let the whole church say everything. Exactly as God had commanded him. Now go on to smile at somebody and say, neighbor, for the rest of this year, I'm taking my cues from God. Amen. You may be seated. And if you want to do something you've never done, you're going to need an expertise that you've never had. Let me explain real quick. Last year, Pastor, it was my honor and my privilege for the first time to direct the Richmond Symphony Orchestra. Now, unlike Pastor Sapp, I'm not a musician, I'm not a singer, I'm not a conductor, I'm not a songwriter, but I served with 5 others as a celebrity guest maestro to raise money for inner city kids for music programs. And my assignment was to direct a piece called Ride of the Valkyries by Richard Wagner. And knowing that we were novices, the symphony provided us with a couple of conducting lessons, but that was not nearly enough for a task of this magnitude. Almost overwhelmed by the responsibility and having no desire to publicly embarrass myself, I could feel my anxiety level rising until at the end of the second rehearsal, I was introduced to the young lady who was going to play first violin. The assistant conductor brought her to me and said, Dr. Watson, this woman is your new best friend. I said, how so? She said, well, she's going to be sitting on your right. And as you conduct, the orchestra will not really be following you. Said instead, they're going to take all their cues from her. So if you lose your place, if you get off tempo, if you forget where you are, just look at her and relax, because no matter what you do, the music is going to be great because she will keep them on point, and you just get the privilege to wave your hands. Can I help somebody real quick tonight? Because it's good to know as we attempt things that we've never done, that we have somebody near us who is able to direct us. And if we get off tempo, if we lose our place, all we've got to do is look to him and he'll get our lives back on track, because ultimately God is directing the score of our experience, and we just get the privilege to wave our hands. Go on, bump somebody and say, wave those hands. See, let God direct, because God knows not only where you've been and where you are, but God knows where you're headed and the best way for you to get there. Yet I should caution you quickly tonight that divine direction will always enlist our participation and stretch our imagination. That living a God-directed life will always challenge you to bring your faith from the background to the foreground of your experience, because God will not permit any of us to be a permanent passenger on anybody's underground railroad. Indeed, God often produces poignant periods of pressure and pain whose ultimate target is to thrust us up and out of comfort and ease into a state of challenge and effort. And that's exactly where we find Noah in the text we have tagged to teach tonight. So can I act like I'm Mavis Staples and take you there? Because Noah lived in a challenging time. It was a time of excessive corruption, political schizophrenia, moral laxity, and economic disparity. And Noah was under pressure to conform to the culture and the crowd, to fit in where he could get in. And yet his love for God and his walk with God would not permit him to subscribe nor surrender. He was tempted at times, and there were moments when it would have been easier for him to acquiesce, but his love for God and his walk with God would not permit him to surrender. His reverence for God established some boundaries around his life that he was not willing to cross. Can I park on that curb for a moment? Because when you have a real relationship with God, I'm not just talking about a weekend rendezvous, because you do realize that most people, even in the church, don't don't want a real relationship with God. We just want to date God. We want to be friends with benefits.